اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم إنه ليس لي علم بموته رزقي، وإنما أطلبه في تطوات تقدر على قلبي، فرجل في ذربه البلدان، فأنا فيما أنا طالب كالحيوان. لا أدري أفي سهل هو أم في جبل، أم في أرض، أم في السماء، أم في بر، أم في بحر، وعلى يدي من ومن قبل من، وقد علمت أن علمه عندك وأسبابه بيدك، وأنت الذي تقسمه بلطفك وتسببه برحمتك. اللهم فصل على محمد وآله، واجعل يا ربي رزقك للواسع ومطلبه سهلا ومقعده قريبا، ولا تعنني في طلب ما لم تقدر لي فيه رزقا، فإنك غني عن عذابي وأنا فقير إلى رحمتك. فصل على محمد وآله، وجد على عبدك بفضلك، إنك ذو الفضل العظيم.
اللهم صل على محمد.
Brothers and sisters, inshallah, we aim to start the program in 1 minute. Ahsant.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. تبارك الذي بيده الملك وهو على كل شيء قدير، الذي خلق الموت والحياة ليبلوكم أيكم أحسن عملا، وهو العزيز الغفور، الذي خلق 7 سماوات طباقا، ما ترى في خلق الرحمن من تفاوت، فارجع البصر هل ترى من فتور، ثم ارجع البصر كرتين ينقلب إليك البصر خاسئا وهو حسير. وقد زينا السماء الدنيا بمصابيح وجعلناها رجوما للشياطين، وأعتدنا لهم عذاب السعير، وللذين كفروا بربهم عذاب جهنم وبئس المصير. إذا ألقوا فيها سمعوا لها شهيقا وهي تفور تكاد تميز من الغيظ كلما ألقي فيها فوج سألهم خزنتها ألم يأتكم نذير قالوا بلى قد جاءنا نذير فكذبنا وقلنا ما نزل الله من شيء إن أنتم إلا في ضلال كبير وقالوا لو كنا نسمع نعقل ما كنا في أصحاب السعير صدق الله العلي العظيم.
پر محمد و آل محمد صلوات. جب شام غریبا کا اندھیرا نظر آئے مقتل میں میری لاش برے نہ نظر آئے ان ریت کے ذروں کو کفن میرا بنانا اے کربلا حسین کے غم کو نہ بھلانا اے کربلا حسین کے غم کو نہ بھلانا زائر جو میرے آئے زائر جو میرے آئے تو پلکوں پہ بٹھانا اے کربلا حسین کے غم کو نہ بھلانا سویا ہے تیری گود میں بانو کا گلے تر 6 ماہ کا سن ہے اسے معصوم سمجھ کر ایک ماں کی طرح لوریاں دے دے کے سلانا اے کربلا حسین کے غم کو نہ بھلانا ہر دور میں چہلم کے لیے چھوڑ کے گھر بار غربت پہ میری آئے جو رونے کو عزادار آنکھوں سے جو دیکھا ہے وہ سب ان کو بتانا اے کربلا हुसैन के गम को ना भुलाना। सीने पे मेरे सोती थी जो फूल सी बच्ची, क्या जाने वो क्या होती है दुनिया में यतीमी, बन जाएगी कल से वो तमाचों का निशाना। ऐ करबला हुसैन के गम को ना भुलाना। ऐ करबला हुसैन के गम को ना भुलाना। पर मोहम्मद व आलि मोहम्मद सलवात।
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Kindly join me in reciting a Surah Fatiha for Marhum Shiraz by Alu and Kul Marhumin Al-Fatiha. Alhamdulillah, our Muharram Safar Fund now stands at £20,362, a little short of our full target of 23,500. My dear brothers and sisters, I encourage myself and you all to make the most of these holy nights of barakah, to inshallah give whatever little you can to this fund, inshallah. A reminder that our program tomorrow will begin at 6:45 p.m. with the recitation of the Holy Quran, Marsiya, Majlis, Matam, and will end with the recitation of Maghribain Jamaat Salah at 8:16 p.m. There will be the Children's Azadari program organized by the Al-Mahdi Madrasa to be held here at the center on Sunday the 25th of August at 11 a.m. Children of all ages are invited to attend and participate. Parents are requested to encourage their children to attend, and please bring your flags and banners for the Julus procession that will also be held at the Azadari program. The Sunday evening program will begin promptly at 6:05 p.m. We request everyone to please be on time. Takeaway niyaz will be served at the end of the program, inshallah. The Arba'een Day program will take place on Monday, the 26th, commencing with Zohrain Jamaat Salah at 1:13 p.m. The Majlis on Monday will inshallah be recited by Sheikh Mullah Mujahid Sharif. Takeaway niyaz will be served at the end of the program. Please note that all these details of the forthcoming programs have been circulated via email and WhatsApp. For Sunday and Monday, where the niyaz is served in takeaway tins, we would like to strongly urge anyone who chooses to eat their meal on the benches outside to please make sure you clear up after yourselves and your children. At the last instance, when food was served in tins, our volunteers were unfortunately left with a task to clear up the compound and had to throw away a lot of half-eaten meals. And for this time, as you may have noticed, our volunteering team is running a little thin on the ground after a good number of them have been blessed to commemorate Arba'een in Karbala. May Allah accept their efforts. Ameen. We thank you all for your cooperation in this matter. For the next 3 nights, we are delighted to host Sayyid Muhammad Rizvi to deliver the majalis. After achieving a Bachelor in Science honors in Biomedical Sciences, Sayyid Muhammad Rizvi studied in both Hawza Ilmiya in Qum and Hawza Ilmiya of England and graduated under Sheikh Dr. Muhammad Shumali in London. He has served for a few years as the full-time resident alim in the Al-Zahra Center in Watford and is a certified hijama practitioner. Sayyid Rizvi, we thank you for accepting our invitation once again to grace our center for these holy nights. Mu'mineen, kindly join me in welcoming him to the mimbar with the recitation of 3 loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
الفاتحة. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين بارئ الخلائق أجمعين باعث الأنبياء والمرسلين، ثم الصلاة والسلام والتحية والإكرام على أفضل الموجودات، العبد المؤيد الرسول المسدد المصطفى الأمجد والمحمود الأحمد، سيدنا ونبينا وحبيب قلوبنا والشفيع ذنوبنا، صاحب الوقار والسكينة المدفون بأرض المدينة، أبي القاسم محمد. وآله الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المظلومين، واللعنة الدائمة على أعدائهم أجمعين من الأولين والآخرين، آمين يا رب العالمين. قال الله تبارك وتعالى في كتابه الكريم وهو أصدق القائلين وقوله الحق: بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن الله اشترى من المؤمنين أنفسهم وأموالهم بأن لهم الجنة ويقاتلون في سبيل الله فيقتلون ويقتلون. صدق الله العلي العظيم. صلوات. صلى على. Respected Sheikh, respected brothers, sisters, elders, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept each and every tear that you and I have shed for Aba Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam from the 1st of Muharram until tonight and inshallah the nights to come. And may Allah never take away the tawfiq of the service of Aba Abdullah, crying for Aba Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam, and especially sitting and attending the majlis of Aba Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam. And many are blessed to be in Arba'in. Many are blessed to be in Karbala right now as we speak. Some are reaching Karbala, some are walking towards Karbala, and many will reach Karbala inshallah in the coming 2 nights or so. But for us, the unlucky ones who remain behind, let me give you the good news that if you cannot make it to Karbala, make it to the majlis of Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam. There is a spirituality that exists within the majlis of Imam Hussein. For as long as we can't go to Karbala, then our Karbala for the meantime will become these majalis. And so inshallah the next 3 nights, tonight and the next 2 nights, I want to dedicate the majalis to a personality without whom Karbala would not be Karbala, and in fact is without a shadow of a doubt the second most important personality in Karbala after Imam Hussein, and this is his brother Abul Fadl Abbas alayhi salatu wassalam. Ya Muhammad. And this is a personality that had it not been for Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam and his relationship for Abul Fadl Abbas alayhi salam, we would not know Karbala as we know it today. The person who, if you read the Maqatil, or if you read the Maqatil, the books, the name of Abbas appears right after the name of Hussein. And in fact, he's probably amongst the last ones to leave the side of Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam on that fateful day. So I want to dedicate tonight and the next 2 nights in trying to shed some light and trying to extract, not only narrate history, because there's one thing to narrate a waqi'ah or a qadiyya. There's one thing to just narrate history. But I want to take it a step forward and try to extract certain lessons about Abul Fadl Abbas from those waqi'at or that particular qadiyya. And hence, you have waqi'ah, and then you have something called istinbat. Like in fiqh and usul, you have istinbat. You put the evidences in front of you, hadith, Quranic ayah, and whatever other qara'in and dalail that there are. And the mujtahid will make an istinbat or istikhraj, which means he extracts from it a ruling. But when you speak to the historians, they'll tell you that we have istinbat in history as well. Unfortunately, this is largely ignored when it comes to history, because 9 out of 10 times a person will read over history and a speaker will just narrate history, which is a waq'a. This is what happened. Hazrat Abbas born on this day, died on this day, Ashura. This is narrating history. And I don't want to narrate history in the next 3 nights. I want to make what the Mu'arrikhin say, there is istinbat and istikhraj and istanaj within Tariq itself. And what I present is all ara of the ulama. So, tonight, just to begin, who is Abul Fadl Abbas? What do we know about this personality? The reality is that if you look through the life of Abul Fadl Abbas alayhi salam, and if you look at the works of the traditional scholars, especially the classical scholars, the ancient scholars, many of them have only briefly discussed Abul Fadl Abbas alayhi salam. As in, if you look at the Mu'arrikhin, what they would do is they would bring in the tazkirah or the dhikr of Abul Fadl Abbas when they say Awlad Amirul Mu'mineen, the children of Imam Ali alayhi salam, Hassan, Hussein, Abbas. The third name will always be pretty much Abul Fadl Abbas alayhi salam. Or for example, the books that mention the list of the Shuhada of Karbala, you will find Abul Fadl Abbas name in there. But largely, the same attention that has been given to, for example, Imam Hassan and Imam Hussein has not been given to Abul Fadl Abbas alayhi salam, at least in the ancient text. Okay? Now, is that a fault of Abul Fadl Abbas? Absolutely not. This is an injustice at the part of history and the historians. This is an injustice which has been committed by the mu'arrikh, by the scholars, who have neglected a huge and grand personality, which inshallah will delve into it. But before I go into it, let me give you an idea, so that you get an idea. You see, there are certain historical events, though they may only last a minute, yet they become so important that their importance lasts until the day of Qiyamah. Everyone with me? And there are certain historical events that may last a long time, yet they hold no importance or no real position within the foundations of Islam. I'll give an example. How long did it take for Imam Amirul Mu'mineen alayhi salam to give his ring in ruku? Just to point with his finger. And someone comes and removes that ring. A minute? At most? Minute and a half? That historical event is so brief, yet so important, that until Qiyamah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned the verse of the Quran on it. وَهُمْ رَاكِعُونَ. Brief, a minute, but the importance will go until Qiyamah. Let me give you another example. Forget a minute, a second. إِنَّ ضَرْبَةَ عَلِيٍّ فِي الْخَنْدَقِ. That one strike of Ali ibn Abi Talib in the battle of Khandaq. You know the hadith. أَفْضَلُ مِنْ عِبَادَةِ الثَّقَلَيْنِ. How long did that strike last? A minute? Not even a minute. Second? Not even a second. Especially when it's a dhul fiqar and the hand is yadullah. Split second. Historical event. Split second. Not even 60 seconds. And yet the importance is such that it will last until Qiyamah. So it goes to show you that the historical event does not have to be lengthy for it to occupy a position which is worth remembering. It can be as brief as a minute or a split second. And it can occupy a position that the Muslims, the Ummah, will remember it as long as the Ummah lives. As long as there is time. Abul Fadl Abbas, 34 brief years when he's martyred in the plains of Karbala. Yet the importance of Abul Fadl Abbas is such that as long as the name of Hussein lives, the name of Abbas will live. And as long as the name of Abbas lives, the name of Hussein will live. Brief life. Short life. And whatever the historians have written about Abul Fadl Abbas, the vast majority of it is on Karbala, the day of Ashura, before Karbala, leaving Medina, and after Shahadat, his holy head, and Kufa and Sham. And the vast majority of the books that have come after that come from that. As in, there are commentaries on it, explanations on it, the ara, the thoughts of the writer. Because the reality is that, people say, what about Abul Fadl Abbas before Karbala? Well, we don't have much. And this is an injustice on the part of the historian, the scholars. That they have taken, they have taken it for granted. They have largely ignored there is no fault in it of Abul Fadl Abbas alayhi salam himself. According to one muhakkik that I was researching as I was preparing for these, he says, in regards to the books that have been written on the life, on the holy personality of Abul Fadl Abbas, he says, in Arabic, there are about 70 plus books. In Farsi, there's more than 300 books. In Urdu, 20 books or so. English, 4 to 5. Turkish, 4. According to one muhakkik who's put this research together. Now, these books that exist, the vast majority of them are the commentary of what happened in Karbala. So the writer is forced now to try to understand the life of Abul Fadl Abbas from that minimal information or minimum sources that we have. Because in the ancient sources, there isn't detail. To the point, brief, son of Ali ibn Abi Talib, martyred in Karbala. His rajas, for example, what he recited when he went out to fight the enemies. So inshallah, what I want to do is, whatever we have, try to work with that and try to make an istinbat in regards to the shakhsiyah, the holy personality of Abul Fadl Abbas alayhi salatu wassalam. Recite salawat, please. The first thing, let me give you a proposition. Good parents don't necessarily produce good children. As in, there's no guarantee. If I am a good father and my wife is a good mother, my child or my children will all turn out to be good. There's no guarantee of that. The story of Hazrat Yaqub is in front of you. The majority of the sons of Yaqub went astray. Their father cried for years. وَابْيَضَّتْ عَيْنَاهُ مِنَ الْحُزْنِ. His eyes, he lost his sight because of his crying for what the sons did to Yusuf. You all know. Was there any fault in Yaqub? No. Any fault in his tarbiyah? No. On his wife's side? No. Not that we know of. Yet the vast majority, not even one or two, the vast majority out of the 12, vast majority of them were gone astray. Inna kunna khata'in. We have done khata, we have done a sin. So good parents don't lead to good children. Nuh alayhi salam, who saved the ummah, he couldn't save his own son. You remember? He says, I don't need to get into this safina. I'll climb the mountain. He says, no, you won't survive. Yet some historians have come out and said, look, give Nuh a chance. That wasn't his biological son. You'll find this, I found this rare, it's a rare opinion, but anyway, it's out there, it's good to know. I say, let's accept that for a second. Let's say it wasn't his biological son. But there is no doubt that Qabil was the biological son of Adam and Hawa. Yes? Yet we all know he killed his own brother, Habil. Anything wrong with Adam? No. Adam and Hawa? No. They were pure, from Jannah. Nabiullah. Masoom. Nothing wrong with the tarbiyah. In fact, you can't even blame the environment because there was only 4 people at that time. Adam, Hawa, Habil and Qabil. But yet one of them kills the brother. And the murder at that time was huge. It was the first, so imagine this, right? The first life that ended on the planet was not a natural death. It was a result of a murder. And killing one is killing 1/4 of humanity. One is not just one. One is huge at that time when there's only limited number. So, proposition, good parents don't always produce good children. Yet, subhanallah, Imam Amirul Mu'mineen alayhi salatu wasalam was a father. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. Hassan and Hussein aside, they are, Imamain, as-Sayyidain, they are Imams. Them aside, even after them, the sons of Imam Amir, the children of Imam Amirul Mu'mineen alayhi salatu wasalam, they did their father proud. Whether it's Abbas, whether it's the brothers of Abbas, whether it's Muhammad ibn Hanafiya, Awn ibn Ali, Amr ibn Ali, whoever, the sons of Imam Amirul Mu'mineen, whatever information we have, we know that they made their father proud. First proposition. Abbas, not an Imam. He has a maqam, he has wilaya, we'll get to that after. But there was no reason to suggest that anyone after Imam Hassan and Imam Hussein, there was no guarantee on anyone. Yet Allah had put a guarantee on Abul Fadl Abbas. And hence the ulama say after Bani Fatima, after the sons of Fatima, yani Hassan and Hussein, the highest ranking son of Amirul Mu'mineen is Abul Fadl Abbas. After, and that's why even Shaykh al-Mufid, when you go to the end of the chapter of Imam Ali alayhi salam, the sons, the children of Ali ibn Abi Talib, Hassan, Hussein, Abbas. And this is also the rank of Abul Fadl Abbas alayhi salam. Second proposition. You all know this. The worship of the married man carries more thawab than the worship of the unmarried, the single. And it's logical. Because he has more distraction, he has a family, he has children, he has wife, he's got to provide, he's got to work. And yet if he leaves all that dunya aside and comes and stands on the sajjada of salah, on the prayer mat, Allah gives him more reward than the one who does not have these distractions. Right? So, and we made many narrations that the worship of the married man, the one who has done as dawaj, the one who has completed his faith in marriage, his ibadah is higher. So now imagine if the one whose ibadah is higher, then naturally his jihad would be higher as well. I'm taking you somewhere. So, if his salah is higher, because when you're married, you have a wife, you have children, you have family, you have commitments, you don't want to go to war, you don't want to die. You look to the history of the world wars, World War I and World War II. The vast majority of the fighters were young boys, unmarried boys, that were drafted into war. And they were the easiest. So either these people are easy to draft into war, or what is the other type? The ones who have lost it all in war. We've lost my child, I've lost my parents, I've lost my children, I've lost my wife, I've lost my kids. Now I want to go and fight. It drives a man to that. Drives a man to that position where now he wants to fight. But you know what? Even that is not as praiseworthy as the one who has a wife and children and a mother, and he leaves them behind and he enters the maqtal. And how many were like that on the day of Ashura? Because someone might say, look, he lost everyone. And the stress was such that he wanted to die. And people commit suicide all the time. People jump in front of a moving train. When they lose, sometimes it's a financial law, I've lost everything in life. So that cannot be praised, at least to that extent, as the one who has everything and he leaves them behind and still goes. Everyone with me? I'll give you another example. When the Japanese fought in the World War, there was a story that, it became very popular, that there was a Japanese soldier, before he went to fight, he shot his mother, his wife, and his 2 children. And when they asked him, why did you do that? He said, so when I go and fight, I don't think about home. That thought, I don't want to think about it. So he killed his family, and he went to fight. Now, if that man was put on trial, he himself is to be punished. So here you have a soldier who eliminates his family before he comes to fight. And here you have Abu Fadl Abbas, who gets the idhn, who gets the sawab by how? He has the permission of the dua of the mother Baneen. He has a wife Lubaba. He has children We know that al-Banin left behind Medina had one of the children of Abul Fadl Abbas alayhi salam. We know from narrations that after Karbala, Imam Sajjad, whenever he would see the son of Hazrat Abbas by the name of Ubaidillah, he would stand. And he said, Mawla, why do you stand? Who's this? Said, this is the son of our uncle Abbas. He reminds me of our uncle. So we know there were at least some sons that Abul Fadl Abbas had. So second proposition. Abbas, and you go look through the Maqtal. Once, not once, does Abbas think about his mother, his children, his wife. There's only one thing here. Hussein. So, so read between, now as I narrate this, read between the lines. Not that I want to just narrate history. Istinbat, extract from history. Third proposition. The Prophet saw Zayd ibn Suhan. He says, O Zayd, a part of you will enter Jannah before you enter Jannah. The companions looked confused, like, what does the Prophet mean? What does that mean? It was only when Zayd lost one of his arms in a battle, they said, okay, now we understood what the Messenger of Allah said. A part of you will enter Jannah before you enter Jannah. And then time went by and Ja'far al-Tayyar fought the Romans, lost both of his hands. Rasulullah enters the house of Ja'far. He takes the children of Ja'far, embraces them. He puts his hands on their heads. They're now yatim. He embraces them. He hugs them. And he says, Allah will give you, and you all know the hadith, Allah will give your father wings in paradise with which he will fly higher than the malaika. You've heard the hadith, right? Let me give you the commentary of Allama Tabatabai. Because similar hadith exists for Abul Fadl Abbas, that Abbas will have wings to compensate his severed arms on the day of Ashura. Allama Tabatabai says something beautiful, and it really makes sense. He says that by wings, don't think it's wings like birds have wings. Because if they were given the wings that the birds had, then there's nothing to be proud about. Because even the birds have it. He says, no. That's only said to explain to the ummah. Allama Tabatabai says the reality is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give Abul Fadl Abbas and Ja'far al-Tayyar a power, a qudra, by which they will fly higher than the angels, the malaika. It's not that they will have wings, as in, otherwise the pigeons have it too, the parrots have it. Then what is the difference? No, it's far greater. He says, no, that is a power, it is a qudra that will be given to them, bestowed upon them by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's not that it's physical wings. And you see, the hand or the hands itself, honestly, you ask a person without a hand, having lost both of his hands or just one of his hand, what it feels like. He'll tell you it's like he's lost his life. And you find these stories, especially if you read history, non-Islamic history of the Indian subcontinent, for example. There is certain legends that say the one who built the Taj Mahal, the Mughal king had his hand severed, chopped, so that he doesn't make that again. Now, whether that happened or not, but it's a legend, it's out there. But I'll give you a real one, just in case that's not real. In the time of Qahir Billah, he was one of the Khulafa of Bani Abbas. A man was brought to him who had written the Quran, who was he was known for his calligraphy, Khatati. He had written the Quran in calligraphy with his own, 2 Qurans he had written with his own hands. And for some reason, whatever happened, the Caliph ordered his right hand to be severed. And so the historians narrate that after he lost his arm, now imagine this guy does calligraphy, he's written 2 Qurans with his hand. And he's had his hand severed, one hand, right hand. Whatever, I don't know what the reason was, but anyway, you can check this. But he had his arm severed. And there's something he said which I've brought tonight to quote him. They asked him, look, how is your life now after having lost an arm? You know what he says? He says, لَيْسَ بَعْدَ الْيَمِينَ لَذَّةُ عِيشٍ. He says, after having lost my arm, there is no pleasure in life. In other words, it's hopelessness. ليس بعد اليمين, after having lost the right, there's no lizzah, there's no fun in life. As in, he does not enjoying his life anymore. It's like losing your life. But this is what I want to extract. Now let's go to Abul Fadl Abbas. You know what he said when he lost his right arm? You know his rajas that he recited? In the Maqatil, you know, you have certain words that are associated with Abul Fadl Abbas. When they cut his right arm, he said something. And when they cut his left arm, he said something. And before that, when he took the water into his hands, he said something. Wallahi in qata'tum al-yamini inni uhami abadan an dini. By God, even if they cut my right arm, I will never abandon the defense of my religion. Wa an imamin sadiq al-yaqini. And the imam, I will never. Who speaks like that? You know, it's easy to me narrate and you to listen it and forget about it. But just take yourself to Karbala. Take yourself to what other people are saying. There's no point living in after having a one arm cut. Abbas says, even if they cut the right, I'll still stand with my deen, and my deen is Hussein. And then when his left arm is cut, Ya nafsu la takhshal kuffar. Oh, nafs, he talks to himself. Oh, nafs, do not fear the kuffar. Wa abshir bir rahmatil jabbar. And Allah, He is given the glad tidings. Who speaks like that? He had his right arm cut. He says, I'll stand with my Imam. He has his left hand cut. He says, don't fear the kuffar. And what's interesting is he calls them kuffar. It tells you what he thinks of them. But this is the reality. Now try to work with this. Who is Abbas? You know, in the beginning of the lecture I said that the historians have done an injustice to Abul Fadl Abbas. But so have we. The name of Abbas will be there as long as the name of Hussein is there. The name of Zainab from the ladies will be there as long as the name of Hussein is there. So when we work in the name of Hussein, charities in the name of Hussein, it's time we had charities in the name of Abbas alayhi salam. When people say who's Hussein, they should say who's Abbas. And perhaps if people understood Abbas, Hussein would be easier to understand. Because Imam Hussein alayhi salam's attention was on this one man. It's strange. A few points. I've got my eyes on the time. I'll give you another proposition. The narrations say, we have narrations on this. Historically, there were certain men that were known for their tall height. And certain historians have collected the names of those Sahaba, companions, or early Muslims who were known to be much taller in society than others. And there's a narration that says, the tall man has wisdom. No tall man is without wisdom. So height historically has been praised. And that reminds me of a narration that has come up in some of the books. Maybe not our books, but the books of our brothers. That one day Imam Amir al-Mu'minin is walking, and on his right is the first caliph, and on his left is the second caliph. And according to this narration, Ali was shorter and they were taller. And they said to Ali, oh Ali, you are like the noon in the lana. You know when you write lana, lam, noon, alif. Lam, alif is taller and noon is shorter. Like you say Quds lana. Palestine is for lana, for us. They say, oh Ali, you're like the noon in the lam and the alif, between the lam and the alif. Imam Amir, because to mock his height. Even though we don't accept that, but anyway, let's go with this one. Imam Amir al-Mu'minin replies to them, look, if you remove the noon, then it's la, it's nothing. In other words, without me, you are nothing. The tall height has been praised. And so for some reason, even enemies of Ahlul Bayt try to take the virtue of that we were taller. But the reality is that the arbab of maqatil, those who have written the maqtal al-talibin, they say when Abul Fadl Abbas would mount a horse, his feet would touch the ground. As in when he would sit, the maqatil say that his feet would make a line. يَخُطَّانِ فِي الْأَرْضِ. In the battle of Siffin, when people knew that Ali ibn Abi Talib is undefeatable, they said, look, fight anyone, don't fight Ali. And so what happened is, every time Imam Amir al-Mu'minin would take a sword and go out, they'd step back. And when his companions would come out, they'd come forward. So the historians say Imam Amir al-Mu'minin did something. He called Abul Fadl Abbas. He says, oh Abbas, take off your armor. He was wearing his war garments. He says, take off your war garments and give them to me. And Ali took his armor off and he puts it on Abbas. What was the age of Abul Fadl Abbas in Siffin? 12? 13? Between 11 to 13. And yet that the historians say that Amir al-Mu'minin takes his garments to change his appearance because they wouldn't fight him. He takes his garments, garments of war, the armor, and he places it on Abul Fadl Abbas. And he wears that of Abbas. Historians say at that age, he was wearing the garments of his father. Tells you about his height. And remember, no fi'l or no qawl, no action, no saying, or even the silence of the Imam, it's not without wisdom. You remember Rasulullah, when he takes off his holy ammam and he places on the holy head of Imam Amir al-Mu'minin Ghadir, to show the transfer of wilayah. Imam Amir al-Mu'minin alayhi salatu wasalam, when by placing his garments on Abul Fadl Abbas, it was not without wisdom and hikmah. It was to show the wilayah of Abul Fadl Abbas alayhi salam. For this reason, when Imam al-Sadiq goes in his ziyarah, you go ziyarah, you recite in the ziyarat nama of Abul Fadl Abbas alayhi salam about his wilayah. Imam al-Sadiq says what? When he enters the haram of Abul Fadl Abbas alayhi salatu wasalam, his uncle Abbas, he says, oh Allah, the word of the ziyarah is, Allahumma inni ta'arrastu li ziyarati awliyaik raghbatan fi sawabik. Oh Allah, I have come for the pilgrimage of one of your awliya, Waliullah. Who is it? Not an Imam. Imam Hassan? No. Imam Hussein? No. Abbas. Le ziyarati awliyaik. Why? Raghbatan fi thawabik. In the hope that I'll get some thawab. The Imam who doesn't need any thawab. The Imam who's ma'soom. Anil khata, anil kul. Yet the ziyarah of Abul Fadl Abbas is such that even the sixth Imam, ma'soom, even he says, I come into the mashhad, the maqtal of Abbas, raghbatan fi thawabik, to gain some thawab. As a result, wali of Allah. And my last point before I touch Masaib. Ayatollah al-Hajj, Sheikh Ibrahim al-Kalbasi has a book known as Khasa'is al-Abbasiyah, in which he has collected 40 of the specific virtues of Abul Fadl Abbas. How many? 40, arba'in. We're in arba'in. He's collected 40, arba'in of the virtues of Abbas. I want to give you just one before I come to Masaib. Subhanallah. He says, you know, you've always heard that Imam Hussein, Abul Fadl Abbas alayhi salam was Babul Hussein. You heard that, right? And it's in the book as well, actually. But he argues a different point, different angle. He says, not only is he Babul Hussein, the door to Hussein, فَإِنَّهُ عَلَيْهِ السَّلَامُ ظَهَرُ الْوِلَايَةِ. Allahu Akbar. He says, not only is he the door to Hussein, in fact, Abbas is the back of wilayah. the backbone, the back. Like Najaf, it was Dhahrul Kufa, the back of Kufa. Abbas, Dhahrul Wilaya. How? And then he gives an example. He says, like in the time of Rasulullah, Abu Talib was Dhahrul Nabuwa. Abu Talib was the back of the Prophet. And hence when Abu Talib left this dunya, Jibreel descended. And he said, Ya Rasulullah, now you don't have a back. And for this reason, there is now no place for you in Makkah. You must leave. You remember when they used to come to him? And they used to say, oh, Abu Talib, tell your nephew. Explain to your nephew. Tell him to stop. We'll do everything. We'll give him money. We'll give him wealth. We'll give him He would come. And Rasulullah would say, even if they give me the sun and the moon on my palms, I won't stop. And so Abu Talib says, look, as long as I'm alive, until I'm buried, I'll protect you. Do what you have to do. Do what you've been instructed to do by him. And so Abu Talib became the back of Risala. Back is what? If you lose your backbone, you lose your life. You can't stand, disabled, dead. In the same way as a Risala could not stand without Abu Talib, Wilaya could not stand without Abul Fadl Abbas. Anyone who would come to Imam Hussain alayhi salam on the day of Ashura or before Ashura from the 2nd of Muharram would have to come through Abbas first. Because he was the backbone of Wilaya. Wilaya stands on a backbone. That backbone is Abul Fadl Abbas alayhi salam. Shab Ashur, Sayyidah Zainab says, I came out to see where my brother is. I found Imam Hussain all alone in his tent, making munajat with Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. Imam Hussain was all alone. And she said, this isn't right. At a time like this, Hussain all alone? She says, I went to the tent to find where is Abbas. She says, as I came to the tent, I saw Abbas had gathered all of Bani Hashim and he was sitting in the middle on his knees like a lion, Kal Asad. And he was high and he was giving khutbah. And Sayyidah Zainab says, I had never heard a khutbah like this from anyone other than Hussain ibn Ali. What does he say? He says, tomorrow when it's the day of Ashura, what will you do? What do you say? And they all said in one voice, they said, Sayyidi ya Abbas, nahnu tahta qiyadatik wa isharatik. Oh, but Fadl Abbas, we are under your command. Your command. Subhanallah, look at who Abbas is. All of Bani Hashim. You're the command. Your ishara, you point, we'll do what you say. Allahu Akbar. The back of Wilaya. Now you know. Now connect Fada'il to Masa'ib. Abbas, the back of Wilaya. Now you know when on the day of Ashura, when Abbas fell from the horse, Imam Hussain held his back. And he says, Al-an in kathara zahri. Now my back has been broken. Imagine that. Now you know why Abul Fadl Abbas alayhi salam was the back of Aba Abdullah. He falls, Imam Hussain alayhi salam. He says, my back, I've lost my back. His back bent. I don't know how it was that he dragged himself to the body of Abul Fadl Abbas. Allahu Akbar. Take yourself to Karbala. We're not there. But we say, oh Mawla, bless us with the ziyarah of Babul Hawaij, with the back of Wilaya, Dhahrul Wilaya. The power of Wilaya. The one for as long as he lived, Imam Hussein's back was strong. And the moment he fell, Imam Hussain alayhi salatu wasalam's back was bent. Ajrakum ala Allah. Shia were in the nights of Arba'een. Imagine Imam Hussain, he takes Abbas into his lap. That moment, just try to imagine that moment. You know what the Maqtal says? In one eye there was blood of Abbas. In the other eye there was an arrow. They had fired an arrow into the eyes of Abbas. Abul Fadl Abbas says what? Says, "Oh Master Sayyidi ya Aba Abdullah, if I had hands I would not bother you. But when I came into this dunya, you're the first person I saw. And as I leave this dunya, I want you to be the last person I see before I leave. Oh Master Hussein, please wipe the blood from my eye." Imagine what is going through the heart of Aba Abdullah, a brother like Abbas. There is no brother like Abbas. Ajrukum ala Allah. He says, "May Allah give you jaza. You supported me with your life and you supported me with your death." And then he makes his wasiyah. You know what the wasiyah is. You know, Abbas made a wasiyah. He says, "Sayyidi ya Aba Abdullah, I plead with you, do not take my body to the khiyam, to the mukhayyam." He says, "Why, oh my brother? I've taken all of the shuhada to the Ganj shuhada." He says, "Oh Sayyidi ya Aba Abdullah, when I left, I'd promised water to Sakina. How is it that you will take me and I have no water to give her?" Ajrukum ala Allah. Imagine Aba Abdullah, imagine what is going through his mind. He says, "I am embarrassed, I am ashamed that I'd promised Sakina bint al-Hussein, but now I do not have that." And the Maqatil says that there was another reason. He says, "Oh Sayyidi ya Aba Abdullah, I am the Alamdar, I am the Liwa al-Hamd, I am the one who carries the Liwa al-Hussein. I am the hope of this army, this small army of Aba Abdullah. If they see that the Alamdar, the flag bearers, no more, I'm afraid that the women and the children will lose their hope. Oh Aba Abdullah, leave my body here." But he takes his head. Now imagine this, in the last moments, he takes the head of Abbas and he places it on his lap. Abbas begins to cry. He says, "Why do you cry, my brother Abbas?" And he removes his head from the lap of Aba Abdullah. And then again, my Mawla Imam Hussein takes his head and he places it onto his lap close to him. He embraces him. Again, Abbas cries and he removes his head from the laps of Aba Abdullah. He says, "Oh ya akhi, ya Abbas, what is the matter?" Do you know what Abbas says? He says, "Oh Aba Abdullah, right now you are embracing me, but in a few moments, Asra Ashur, when you shall fall from the back of the horse, who will embrace you, ya Aba Abdullah? For this reason, I don't want you to embrace me." Look at the wafa of Abbas. Look at the love of Abbas. Take lesson from this history. Ajrukum ala Allah. Bas azadaro do jumle aur zahmat tamam karun. Mere Maula ne alam Abbas ko uthaya. Ek martaba alam uthaya. वो मशकीज़ा उठाया जिस मशकीज़े से सारा पानी बह चुका था। एक हाथ में अलम अब्बास है, एक हाथ में सकीना का मशकीज़ा है। अब दूर से क्या देख रही है बीबी सकीना? अलम आ रहा है। अभी तक ये मालूम नहीं है कि अलम तो आ रहा है लेकिन अलमदार नहीं आ रहा। बस अज़ादारो, एक मर्तबा मेरा मौला हुसैन अलम अब्बास लेके जब करीब आया, क्या देखा? नन्ही सी बच्ची भागती हुई बाप से आके लिपट गई। कहा, या अबता, मेरे चचा अब्बास की क्या खबर है? अब मेरा मौला हुसैन क्या जवाब दे? बस मैं तमाम करूँ अज़ादारो, वो जो उम्मीद कारवान था अब उस सारी उम्मीदों पर पानी फिर गया। अब आज के बाद सकीना ने दोबारा पानी नहीं मांगा। आज़ादारो, रिवायत है मख्तुल की, जनाब ज़ैनब कुबरा बाहर आती हैं, तमाम ख़वातीन को जमा करती हैं, कहती हैं, फ़िज़ा करीब आओ, ऐ उम्मे कुलसूम करीब आओ, ऐ लैला और रुबाब करीब आओ। तमाम अहले हरम को जमा किया, कहा, सुनो, कल तक मैंने तुम्हें जमानत दी थी। किस चीज की जमानत? कि तुम्हारा पर्दा सालिम रहेगा, तुम्हारी चादरें सालिम रहेंगी, खैमों में कोई दाखिल न होगा। लेकिन अब ज़ैनब वो जमानत वापस दे रही है। क्यों? क्योंकि अब्बास मारा गया, क्योंकि अब मेरा शेर न रहा। हाय सलाम हो ज़ैनब कुबरा पर। अब्बास की शहादत के बाद ज़ैनब को यकीन हो गया था कि अब मेरे हाथों में रस्सियां बंधेंगी, अब मुझे बाजारों में जाना होगा, अब मुझे शाम का दरबार देखना होगा, अब मेरा गाजी जिंदा न रहा। अला लअनतुल्लाहि अलल कौम ज़ालिमीन व सयअलमुल लज़ीना ज़लमू अय्य मुनक़लिबिन यनक़लिबून। والعاقبة للمتقين إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون. ماتم حسین.
تو نہ آیا غازی جب ردا سر سے چھنی میں صدا دیتی رہی تو نہ آیا غازی آل عمران کہاں اور زندان کہاں یہ بہن قید ہوئی تو نہ آیا جب ردا سر سے چھنی میں صدا ہم کو پانی نہ ملے تیری خوشبو تو رہے تیرے بازو نہ کٹے چاہے مشکی ساچھ دے یہ مگر ہو نہ سکا تیرے بازو ہے جدا مجھ پہ ہے تشنہ لبی تو نہ آیا جب ردا سر سے چھنی دھوپ میں تو تھا شجر تجھ سے آباد تھا گھر ہے برہنا میرا سر کیا نہیں تجھ کو خبر اے علمدار وفا اس بہن کو باخدا تجھ پہ دارس تھی بھری تو نہ آیا جب ردا سر سے میں صدا دیتی رہی آ گئی شام علم لٹ گئے اہل حرم ریت پر جلتی ہوئی ہو گیا ٹھنڈا علم پرسہ دینے کے لیے مجھ سے ملنے کے لیے آ گئے بابا علی تو نہ آیا جب ردا سر تی رہی تو نہ آیا کیا کہوں شعر میرے بیردا ہم کو لیے یہ مسلمان سارے شہر در شہر گئے خلقت کوفہ کبھی خلقت شام کبھی اور ہاں ہم پہ ہنسی تو نہ آیا جب ردا سر سے چھنی کتنی بے بس تھی بہن اے شہنشاہ وفا نام لے لے کے میرا جب یہ ظالم نے کہا ناز تھا جس پہ تجھے اب بلاؤ نہ اسے اور میں روتی رہی تو نہ آیا غازی جب ردا شر سے چھینی میں صدا دیتی رہی قید خانے میں قضا جب سکینہ کو ملی دیکھ کرتے کا کفن بچی دفنائی گئی اس گھری نام تیرا صورت ناد علی دیکھ میں دہراتی رہی تو نہ آیا جب ردا سر سے چھنی میں صدا دیتی رہی تو نہ آیا غازی جب ردا سر سے چھنی میں صدا دیتی رہی تو نہ آیا غازی تو نہ آیا غازی صلوات علی محمد و آل محمد
السلام عليك يا رسول الله السلام عليك يا أمير المؤمنين السلام عليك يا فاطمة الزهراء سيدة النساء العالمين السلام عليك يا خديجة الكبرى السلام عليك يا حسن المجتبى السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله الحسين وعلى أرواح التي حلت بفنائك عليكم مني جميعا سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار ولا جعله الله آخر العهد مني لزيارتكم السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين السلام على 9 المعصومين من ذريته علي بن الحسين ومحمد بن علي وجعفر بن محمد وموسى بن جعفر وعلي بن موسى ومحمد بن علي وعلي بن محمد والحسن بن علي السلام عليك يا مولانا يا صاحب العصر والزمان السلام عليك يا خليفة الرحمن السلام عليك يا شريك القرآن السلام عليك يا كعبة الإيمان السلام عليك يا إمامنا وإمام الإنس والجان أجل الله تعالى فرجه وسخر الله تعالى مخرجك وظهورك والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اللهم كل وليك حجة بن الحسن صلواتك